How we doing, guys?
Good. What were your impressions of where Elliott was physically, and how did he handle the totality of the first day back?
Yeah, Zeke did a great job. Like I said, he was in all the meetings and the walkthrough, and he was limited in practice, but thought he did a good job working through it all, and we'll just see what he's able to do today.
Would he incrementally go up in what he does today more? Or is he
we'll just see. We'll start him off the same way, dynamic warm-up and the individual period, and we'll just see what he's able to handle.
Is it too early to say maybe a pitch count for him Sunday? You're still kind of evaluating where he is?
I think it's too early for any of that.
What was he able to do in team drills yesterday?
He participated in a limited fashion, but most of our guys, we rotate around the reps anyway, so he did a good job in practice.
When you're in a situation like this, do you have to maybe defend the player against himself a little bit in terms of wanting to come out and do too much too soon?
Yeah, you just want to have a plan, and you have to recognize where he's been, and there's no question he's been working out. He's in good shape. His weight's good, all of that. But again, he hasn't been practicing against pro football players, so you just work your way back into it. He's an experienced guy. He's played a lot of football for us, and so we just use our best judgments as we go based on what we see, his feedback, what he says to us, how he feels, all of that, and you just take it step by step.
How do you quantify good shape versus football shape?
Oh, I don't know if you can quantify it. You just try to understand where the player is relative to the other guys, relative to where he's been in the past, relative to what the demands are in a practice and then ultimately in a game. So just try your best to make your best judgments.
Is it tough to know what the Giants are in a passing attack without Beckham, without Shepard, even though they still have Eli? Is it hard to
we talked about this the other day. I mean, just week one for every team in this league, teams typically study themselves. They have personnel changes over the course of the offseason. They probably don't show everything in the preseason game. So you're all making your best judgments about how teams are going to be in all three phases of their team. And you rely on history, you rely on what you've seen in the past, maybe a little bit what you've seen in the preseason. And then you just have to be nimble and adjust as the game goes on.
Cooper is the guy who's worked back in after missing time. How's he looked this week? Can you tell anything that he's still nursing that injury?
Yeah, Cooper had a good practice yesterday. He did a lot of stuff. He didn't do absolutely everything, but didn't seem to have any setbacks. And same thing today. We'll just see how he does, and we'll adjust accordingly as we go during the week.
Jason, I'm sure you've been asked about Jason Witten a number of times over the summer, but can you talk a little bit about what he looks like versus what he was before he retired, and what kind of summer he's had so far?
Yeah, I think he looks great. There's no doubt he kept himself in shape on his one-year hiatus, and when he came back, he was ready to go, and did a great job in our off-season program all throughout the spring. Had a really good training camp, was able to play a little bit in the preseason, and he just looks like the same guy we've had playing tight end for us for a long time.
Where were they? So just follow that. I'm sorry. He's had such great numbers against the Giants over the years. Is there a method to that madness, so to speak, or as a former player, were there certain teams that you looked at and you just kind of felt like you were going to perform well against?
Well, he's played against them a lot throughout his career. I guess 2 times a year for the last 15 years. So that's a lot of games. He's played a lot of snaps against them, and he's really been pretty good against most teams. Whenever we ask him to do something, he typically comes through and executes it. So he's been a really good player for a long time, and we're excited to have him back.
Where were you when he first broached the topic of coming out of retirement, and what do you remember about that conversation? And I know you talked all the time, but I mean, there had to be a point where he said, look, I think I'm really going to do this.
Yeah, we had conversations throughout the year. I had a chance to visit with him, when he came here and did one of our games, and a few other times when he was around. He was pretty focused on what he was doing and trying to do that well, and we certainly were focused on what we were doing. As the year winded down and once we got into the off season, it was pretty clear what he wanted to do. He wanted to come back and play football, and we were excited about that possibility.
So you didn't really have a conversation where he said, hey, I want to do this. Is this fine with you? I mean, or just kind of mutated to that point, or it was understood? Or?
Yeah, we had a number of conversations about the whole thing. I can't definitively say on Tuesday, January 11th, he came to my office at 8:47 p.m. I can't say that, but we had conversations throughout. He's been someone I've been close to for a long time. He's been a huge part of our team and our organization. And, once his season ended and our season ended, we got together about it, and he was clear with what his intentions were, and we were excited to bring him back.
Jarwin, what he did last year without Witten being here, how do you kind of handle that dynamic of adding Witten back into the mix but still wanting him to grow?
I just think you do that. Witt's been a really good player. Blake has really grown and developed. You said it over the course of the year, really made a lot of big plays for us. And you saw his confidence grow as his experience increased. And he's one of those guys who learns both good and bad from the time he has playing, in practice, but in games. And you saw that development over the course of the year. So, that's one of those positions where more than one guy can play. And I think that's a positive thing. Witt's we've been in a lot of different 2 and 3 tight end personnel groups throughout the years. Blake's been a part of that too. So I think those guys are comfortable, and you want to make sure you give them both opportunities to help contribute to our team.
Like Ogletree led the Giants in defense last year with 5 interceptions. What challenges does he present to the offense?
Just a good player. He's a really good player. He's a very good run defender. He's very active. He runs to the ball. He's around the ball a lot, and you said he makes a lot of plays in the passing game as well. He's an outstanding athlete. And you see that. You see that when you watch the tape, and his speed and quickness, explosiveness jumps off the tape. And, again, he's around the ball. You said, making the interceptions, but he makes a lot of tackles too. He's a good football player.
Jason, the Giants are dealing with some injuries at the wideout position, suspension as well. What are your impressions of Saquon Barkley as a pass catcher?
Oh, he's just a great football player. He's a rare football player. He's certainly one of the best players in the league. And we evaluated him closely coming out of the draft, and he leaps off the tape at you. He can do so many different things. He can run the ball inside. He can run it outside. He can make tough runs. He can make big runs. He's explosive, not only as a runner but as a receiver. They try to get the ball to him a lot of different ways, throwing him screens, check downs, but also they allow him to run routes from the backfield and out in space. And he's just a great football player. It's easy to see why he's been such a big part of what they're doing, both running the ball and in the passing game.
Dak's always had a presence about him, even as a rookie when he got here. How has that grown now as he's entering his 4th year as a starter? Does everything just seem like he's primed to have a big season in your mind?
Well, he's had a very productive career for us up to this point, and I think what you said at the outset is really a big reason for it. He's got a great presence. He's got great leadership ability. He's got tremendous confidence in himself. He works extremely hard. He's always prepared for whatever situation he could be put into. And I think he's handled, the opportunity up to this point in his career really, really well. And he'll continue to grow because his approach is off the charts. He's so well respected by his coaches, his teammates, staff members around here. And he just plays the game the right way, prepares the right way, and he loves it. And that's contagious throughout our team.
How is his ability to be so steady? I mean, obviously you set the tone of not letting things distract you, but your quarterback, it's so much swirling around for training camp with his Zeke stuff, with his contract stuff. He's not let that bother him, and how does that manifest itself with his teammates? Because he's like a steady influence in that respect.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs in this game, and you just got to keep fighting through it. Ups and downs within a series, within a game, from week to week, over the course of a season, and that's a really important thing. You have to be able to stay focused on the task at hand and let whatever good or bad happen, let that go, learn from it, and keep moving forward. And that's something we preach to our team, but that's something that I believe if we went and watched him play, Pop Warner when he was in 6th grade, he probably had that. He has some incredible and tangible qualities, some great qualities as a person that I think show up really each and every day in all his interactions with people, and then how he handles his job. He loves it. He loves this game. He works very hard at it, and he understands the challenges of it, and he's mentally tough enough and strong enough to be able to stay focused on what he needs to and stay focused on the task at hand. He does a great job, and again, it's contagious throughout our team.
What have you seen from Travis since the start of camp that shows he's been kind of building back to the standard that he's accustomed to?
It's just been fun to watch him play, and he's out there every day in practice, working very hard at his craft, whether as a run blocker, as a protector. He's a great leader for us. He's an outstanding communicator, helping us get lined up, making the identifications of the defense that we need to, and he just grows every day. And he's one of those guys who just absolutely goes about it the right way, so well respected, and then he gets opportunities to play in 11-on-11 situations in preseason games, and you can just see him grow and get better as he goes. So it's certainly great to have him back.
What do you want to see from Randall Cobb on Sunday in his first game for y'all?
Just to go out there and play. Randall's been such a good player in this league for a long time. we've gone against him a lot. He's been hard to defend, and just really go be who you are. Go be Randall Cobb. He's really picked things up very well. You can tell he's just a smart guy. He's a smart football player. He's got a good feel for people, a really good feel for the game. He understands what we're doing, what they're doing, and he's been a good addition to our team. We really like him a lot.
With Witten, he's a guy, you know his emotions, you know where he stands on things. As you get to this regular season, this week, have you seen him pick it up even more, or kind of, can you see any more juice in him that he's getting back to regular season?
I would say line one with Witt in my time with him has simply been, his level of intensity is high all the time, and his focus and his concentration on doing what he needs to do to get himself ready to play is always high. And you can talk about getting together in May for an OTA practice, and he's locked in. He's locked in on his footwork, his hand placement, everything he needs to do to execute the play successfully. So that's probably why he's been the player that he's been. His focus and concentration and his dedication to the details are as good as anybody I've ever been around. So there's no question it's game week. Gets ramped up for everybody, but that's really the world that he lives in.
How do you embrace just the opportunity every year going into week one, clean slate, and the chance to get off on the right foot?
Yeah, just excited. It's an exciting time for the National Football League. Week one, everybody's excited to get back playing these regular season games, and our team has worked very hard over the course of the off season through training camp and the preseason, and just chomping the bit. Can't wait to get started on Sunday.
Zach was listed as limited yesterday. Was that just part of the plan for him, or was there something that he wasn't able to do full?
Yeah, all those guys coming back, they were limited in practice. We worked them back in. There were really no setbacks for any of them. They all did what we asked them to do.
Coach,
all right, good
Eli,
to see you guys.
Pretty quick, Coach. Eli is going into his 16th season. What are some things that still make him dangerous at this stage of his life?
Just a great player and has been for a long time. He's an outstanding competitor. He's such a smart guy. Can really do anything you would want to do throwing the football. He's shown that over the course of his career. Obviously won 2 Super Bowls for them, has been an elite player in this league for a long, long time. And, every time the ball snapped, it's a challenge going against that guy. All right, good to see you guys.
Good to see you.